Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire. And I just want to talk about you don't need God enough. You know what I'm saying? So you got people out there to whereas they would talk with their words and they would talk about they need God. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, oh, I need God this, I need God that. But their actions show that, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like your actions prove that you don't need God enough. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta be honest with yourself because your actions is already showing that you don't need God enough. And the key word for this message is enough. You know, that's the key word for this message. You don't need God enough. You know, anybody could talk with their words, talking about they need God, but your actions, they prove that you don't need God enough. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they need scrolling on their phone more than they need God. You know what I'm saying? You need your friends and you need to hang around your family and friends more than you need God. So your actions is showing that you don't need God enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, when you don't need God enough, when you don't need God enough, that's why you don't feel the need to pray, right? That's why you don't feel the need to fast. That's why you don't feel the need to get closer to God, right? That's why you don't feel the need to do things that will lead you closer to God. That's why you don't feel the need to read your word. Is because you don't need God enough. And when the more you need God, you know what I'm saying, it makes you humble. It humbles your heart down. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't need God enough, it's like you kind of like start to drift away from the things of God. You know what I'm saying? It happens like, it might start happening on a small scale, but you start to drift away from the things of God. It's because you don't need God enough. You know what I'm saying? Just if you're a person out there and you feel like you don't need God enough in your life and you're trying to need God more, just tell God that just be honest with God and tell him, hey, you don't feel like you need him enough in your life. Just be honest with God. You know what I'm saying? God will respect your honesty, because a lot of people think that when you tell God, like, when you keep it real with God, some people might think that, oh, that's disrespectful to God and this and that. When you tell God things like, okay, God, I don't need you enough in my life. You know what I'm saying? Some people may think that's disrespectful, but no, that's honesty. When you keep it real with God, God loves when you be honest with him. You know what I'm saying? When you be like, okay, God, I don't need you enough in my life and I'm trying to need you more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's honesty. And when you don't need God enough, right, your prayers will start to fade. You know what I'm saying? Your prayer life will start to fade. When you don't need God enough, your relationship with God will start to fade. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, we gotta get back. Hold on. We gotta get into needing God more. We gotta get into needing God more. You know what I'm saying? Because we could all need God more in our lives, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with needing God more. And sometimes we don't even realize that we need God more, you know what I'm saying, in our lives, you know what I'm saying? Because we get caught up with, we could get caught up with the wrong things, you know what I'm saying? We could get caught up with life. We could get caught up with the stress that's coming with life, you know what I'm saying? We could forget that we need God more in our lives, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, when you don't need God enough, you could start to drift away. You know what I'm saying? You could start to drift away from spending time with God. You could start to drift away from a lot of different things that's related to God. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give y'all something else, right? Some people need God more in their life. Hold on. Some people need God more in certain areas of their life. You know what I'm saying? More than other areas of their life. So a person could need God in one area of their life more than they need God in another area of their life. You know what I'm saying? Because they might really be on top of their stuff on that one area of their life. And then on the other area of their life, they just need God more in that area. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever the case is, we need God more in our lives. You know what I'm saying? And we got to get into the I need God more mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to repeat that one more time. We got to get into the I need God more mindset. Imagine people woke up in the morning and they was like, oh, I need God more in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just kept that in their mindset. Oh, I need God more. I need God more in my life. I need God more in my life. You know what I'm saying? That would really change their life for the better, because they changed their mindset to like, I need God more. I need God more. If more people had this mindset, the I need God more mindset, you know what I'm saying? Their life would change for the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, and this message is talking to me as well. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want y'all to feel like, oh, it's talking to only us and this and that. You know what I'm saying? No, this message is talking to me as well. You know what I'm saying? And I just pray that we all get back into needing God more. You know what I'm saying? I pray that we get back into needing God more, man, because that's what we really need. We gotta start needing God more. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people could need that prayer. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people dealing with out there. You don't know what people could be going through. And, I pray that we all get back into needing God more in our lives, man. You know what I'm saying? We get back into needing God more in different areas of our life. Because, like I said, man, when you need God more in your life, it really would change your life, man. You know what I'm saying? It will really change your life. And also, like, when you need other things more than you need God, right? Whatever things that you need in your life more than you need God, you could get closer to those things more than you get closer to God. So, for example, if you're a person out there and you need scrolling on your phone more than you need God, you know what I'm saying? You could get closer to, you know what I'm saying? You could get closer to social media and all these different things. You could get closer to that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And start to fade away from God and start to distance yourself from God. You know what I'm saying? And let me give y'all this final example, right? Let me use relationships as an example. Like, let's say you're in a relationship with this person, right? And they start to become distant from you. You know what I'm saying? They not showing any interest. It's like they don't care no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't even want to be around you later. They don't even they distancing themselves from you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like how it is. Like, they could be distancing themselves from you, but getting closer to something else or to someone else. You get what I'm saying? So when you need other things in your life more than you need God, going back to God, right? When you need other things in your life more than you need God, you could get closer and draw closer to those things and start to fade away from God and start to distance yourself from God. Like I said, it could happen on a very small scale. And a lot of people might not notice it because they caught up in life. But you could start to slowly drift away. And when you start to realize, you'll be like, man, my relationship with God is fading. Like, it's fading because you gotta need God more. You know what I'm saying? You don't need God enough. When you don't need God enough, that's what happens. So that's basically all I wanted to say on this message. Peace.